So, dear Dharma practitioners, when it comes to our life, morning to night, we all looking for happiness and satisfaction. And at the same time, we follow the knowledge and we use that knowledge to gain the happiness. But still, it's kind of like become a dream. It's just only kind of like a hope. And day by day, we getting to struggle, difficulties, unsatisfaction, fear, uncertainty. So like that. But again, we try to get the help out of our own knowledge and try to fix that. So then what will happen, the day by day, the web become more stronger and we get into and we get tangled in that mental hopes or the web idea of web. So then practicing meditation is a kind of like a way you're trying to get out of that web. You try to get out of your mental patterns or the thoughts. Is there anything beyond the thoughts? There is a, you know, that in the Western world, there is a word came philosophy. In that word, when it go to the beginning of the word, it called philosophia ultima. So that means the pure essence of the mind. So pure essence of mind is not thoughts. When the mind get out of completely 100% from thoughts, that is the pure essence of your mind. Just try to understand it yourself. So when it comes to the wisdom, even in the Eastern knowledge also, when it comes to the wisdom is not depending on words. So we are in this journey. Of course, for the Buddhism, it's already 2,600 years. So when we compare it to our life, it is a long time because we live here 80 years, 100 years maximum, kind of like that. So even within that years, 100 years, we spend half of time to sleep and another half of time to do some other unnecessary things. Of course, it is for the moment, maybe it is necessary. We cannot take anything from our life. In this conventional life, we cannot tell this is unnecessary. But when it comes to deeper, if you look yourself, the time you already spend regarding certain things, it didn't bring back any profitable skill to yourself. It just disappeared. It became kind of like a dream. There are very few moments in your life you can reflect on it and you can count on it, and it brought you kind of like a valuable currency to your life to spend and move forward and hold, and you can get the help out of that whatever the experience you had. But when it comes to the wisdom, remember, it cannot transform to words. The wisdom itself cannot transform to words. So even the sutra, in the very 20 years of the Buddha's teaching, it's kind of like it was an oral practice, and it's just the Venerable Ananda was that he came kind of like a later, and he became the Buddha's personal attendant. Before that, even there were many, and that teachings may be disappeared. But somehow what you need to understand, now we have scriptures, the sutras, and even in our other religions also, now we have books. So we transform that wisdom to words. So now we try to go with the words. But the words, it's kind of like only a map. It doesn't give you the pure essence of the wisdom. So the pure essence of the wisdom, you have to gain by your own practice. This is the complete, keep going, even when it comes to the meditation. That's why when it comes to the vipassana, there are certain schools talk about it and saying that the vipassana you cannot teach. It is not a method. It is not a pattern, because once you get out of the pattern, that is vipassana. Analytical meditation. If you hold the idea or a method, concept, believing system, or any kind of volitions related to your past experience and observe something, it's not going to be vipassana. But the thing is, practice point of view, we have to build up a model, pattern. And even to let go something, you have to have something. So let go the method, you have to know what is the method. Otherwise, what you're going to let go? So now we have the teachings, and what from the ancient time to today, all the enlightened masters, our high priest, and your ancestors preserve these teachings, and somehow they brought these teachings through the words. So then by repetition, or by listening, or by believing, or by even writing down, getting notes, and or just keep looking at it again and again, you cannot get this. There is a kind of like a method in you have to practice. Once you become very comfortable with the practice, you have to let go that practice. But to get into that moment, you have to develop a certain confidence and the discipline within yourself. So once you develop that confidence and the discipline, and once you have the certain wisdom within yourself, how to let go, then you can understand what is the freedom. So otherwise, it is very difficult. So then when it comes to the nibbana, or the liberation, or the transformation, means make it very simple and understand very, very simple way. When the mind get out of the names and the forms, that is your liberation. If you depending from names or the forms, that means your mind is not free. Why? Because it depending from names or forms. Even just imagine the believing about the God. And sometimes we have an idea about the God. So that's mean your mind has a version about the God. So then if you have an idea about something, then you're not going to find what is God. So when it comes to the true nature, true essence of the wisdom, it's not depending from ideas, it's not depending from volitions, it's not depending from mental formations, it's not depending from experience. It's just the moment of recognition and without repetition. So can you come to a moment to that experience? Recognition without repeating. What is your life? Just look yourself simply. When it comes to your life, can you see something, hear something, smell something, taste something, feel something without getting the help from the thoughts? So if you get the help out of the thoughts, that means your thoughts promote some ideas from the history. So if you experience something with the historical background, so that means in the moment what you experience is not free. So then whatever the knowledge you gather, the wisdom you gain out of the moment of that kind of experience, it's not going to become the pure essence of the recognition. So then, once it becomes a pattern again and again and again, rather than the recognition, what is happening, you start to develop a pattern to promote your previous thoughts or the patterns or the experience again and again, and which we call the habits. So once you get into that kind of currents, you kind of like autopilot method, you just live. And out of that living, then maybe you can dream, you can hope, you can think something, but that also kind of like ideas that also bring out of thoughts. So to get out of this pattern, we practice meditation. So when it comes to that, in the moment of experience, once you start to observe and recognize, in the beginning you have to observe, and in the next level you have to recognize, and then you have to come to analyze. In the moment by moment, once it happening, you will recognize. So whatever come from the outside world as perception, it doesn't matter if, because your awareness always has power to recognize it. So that is the pure essence of the wisdom. So, and then it's nothing to do with the outside world, but that doesn't mean you are separate from the outside world. No, it always going to be with the world, because otherwise there is no perception come to you. Otherwise there is no living. There is another example for this. So as you know, the lotus come from the mud. So it needs a muddy lake to have a lotus. Once the lotus come out of the muddy lake, it doesn't go and fight with this muddy lake, because it came out of it. And even it become the lotus, it is still carry a form. So that the muddy lake, it's kind of like the conventional life with the desires. And once you become a lotus, you stay untouched. And then, but still, you carry a form. But how about the essence of the lotus? Fragrance. Once the fragrance released from the lotus, that is the highest experience, the existence of the lotus. So just imagine the fragrance. It doesn't have a form, but still it becomes the highest outcome from the mud and the lotus, the entire process. So the recognition also like that. And the recognition is kind of like the fragrance that you gain out of this entire experience. So you have to focus to that. You have to go and you slowly start to harmonize, merge with that path. Not to go and fight with the muddy lake, not to hold it to stuck with the lotus. The stuck with the lotus is kind of like this. So the freedom is the kind of like the fragrance with the wisdom. And some people attached to freedom. Just imagine, you there's a day kind of like no one at home. So you feel, oh, it's good to practice meditation. And you go, and that day you feel so good and your tranquility state is so, settled down, and you feel so comfortable with the meditation. And then suddenly, get this very carefully, understand it. It is not a magic. But suddenly somebody come and ring the bell or knock your door. Can you, without getting disturbed, the same mental state, can you get out of meditation and go and see who is that? Or are you get, shocked and you get mad, disappointed? Who is this? See, my meditation. If you like that, that's mean you look for the freedom, but you attach to freedom. See, that's where you stuck in the lotus. You cannot release, you cannot get out of becoming fragrance. If you become the fragrance, if you become the smell, if you become the essence of this entire process, whoever knock the door or ring the bell, you can rise out of the same state of mind. Practice it yourself. See it yourself. Evaluate yourself. Observe yourself and see. Are you getting disturbed because you practice, you are in a good state? And are you get disturbed, or can you wake up out of it and stay in the same and go and see? And if there is maybe your enemy, maybe the most unpleasant person that you want to meet in the world and show up in front of you, that is the person most miserable for your life. And can you go and see that person without changing that your state of tranquility mind? It's up to you. You have to see. So that is where you have to merge. That is where you have to develop. Remember that. Because in the day-to-day life, we think that the liberation, transformation, nibbana is kind of like going like a thunderbolt, going to hit our head one day. Or like, then after that, we're going to become kind of like, aliens, the different pace. It's not like that. It's the deeply inner transformation. The transformation you release from the desires. The desires is the mental formations that we carry with us. And then sometimes if you depending from the others or the situations, the environment, or maybe from yourself comments yourself, or maybe you are waiting from validation from others. Oh, you are so good now. Oh, you are so beautiful now. Oh, you are so calm now. Oh, your practice work now. Don't get into that kind of mental state. It's a kind of like it called bullshit. Don't get into that kind of things. There was a woman, husband and wife, and this is what happened if you get into like that. Always you depending from others, even in day-to-day life from others, depending from comments, and you waiting what other people going to tell about you. Oh, you are so good now. Oh, you practice meditation. this is what going to happen. There was a husband, wife, and then one day they had a quite, long marriage life, and they was a little bit tired themselves. And then one day the wife got a little bit disappointed herself and came to her husband and told, I am fat. I'm so tired about me. My hair is a mess. My face is ugly. Even the nails look so bad. My feet is kind of like elephant feet. It's a very rough. I'm so tired seeing myself. So then she asked from her husband, is there anything that good you see about me? So then the husband looked at her and told, you have a good eyesight. So like that, this is what happened. When we depending from others comments regarding our spiritual practice, that's why, because this is nothing to do with this outside world. So then, rather than going towards the outside, you have to remember, you more deeply need to recognize what is happening inside you. So for that, we all know that the desire, the lust is the most powerful thing, play the role in the samsaric journey, in this existence. So what is this lust? So we're going to break down it today. And because once you know it, it is not a magic, and it is not a kind of like a, difficult thing. Once you break down, once you recognize it, you can handle that. So the lust or the desire has so much energy inside us, because that is through the samsaric journey. It's everywhere in the world. This is what play the role. This is the biggest thing. So when it comes to us, it's a natural process. So with our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body. So when the perception comes, this is what lust, this is how the lust happens. So if you see this pen, if you see something, if you see this, and by seeing this, it's not going to bring you the lust. So that the lust or the desire, the greed come out of the feelings. When there is no feelings, there is no way the lust going to happen. Even when the feelings happens, so when this appear, just by appearing itself, the lust not going to happen in you. So whatever come to you as perception, out of that perception, listen this very carefully. Once you get it, you know what it is, and you done. Don't. That's why you have to be very clear when you get it to yourself. When the perception come with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, so forget about mind. You don't need to go that way. Just with the five senses. When the perception come, just by perception, the lust not going to happen. Appearance of any perception, the lust not going to happen. Always the lust, the desire, or the greed happens when the perception happens. Out of that perception, if you start to think, that is where the lust arises. So when the perception happens, in that in that moment of appearance of the perception, there is no lust with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body. But whatever the experience come to you, whatever the feelings arise you, out of that feeling, so out of that perception, if you start to think, out of that thinking, your lust arise. So then just imagine, if you experience something without thinking, there's no lust. Try it. There is a way that you can get into that. So, but once you, that's why there are many teachings, there are many sutras, in the mostly very famous one. Nate kamayani chitrani loke sankapparago purisassa kama. So the sankapparago, the mental promotions, the promote ideas, bring the desire. So it's different person to person. Why? Because my background, the ideas that whatever I have, I bring it from my background. So I came from different background, you came from different background. So like that, when it comes to 10 people, they came from 10 different directions. So then their experience going to be different. And the lust is always, the thing is, why we cannot get it? Because we replace. And then we cannot find it. We cannot separate it. We always replace with something. You know, as a child, you used to play with the toys. And then after that, you give up that toys. Then you start to get into a little bit more that the advanced gadgetics. And then you little by little get out of it. And you start to get into a boyfriend or the girlfriend, and you slowly, you know, maybe 1, 2, maybe many girlfriends, boyfriends, and then finally you get out of that and you marry, and then you replace, you marry, then you stay with the husband, and you in love with the wife or the husband, and then what happened to your parents? You know, you forget them. You had so much love with your parents, and you thought, oh, I never going to leave my parents. But after you married, your love will start to, you know, transform to your husband or the wife. And then, and sometimes in the history, you know, even today, there are a lot of people, you know, they give a hard time to their parents because of the husband or the wife. And then what happened? And you stay together, and then once the child come to your life, and the husband or the wife is not that much important, you transform to your child, and then you stay there, and then little by little, you know, you get old and the child become young, and then you slowly start to replace to grandchildren. See how you allow, you know, from toys to grandchildren, the same similar thing, same idea, but the outside, the model is different. But you depending from that. That is the very nature of the lust. It's so smart to adjust and transform to something. And Venerable Sariputta one time gave an example regarding the lust. This is how. There was a gangster, so this is just a simile example, you know, how the lust work. So there was a gangster, saw a millionaire in that city and thought, I want to kill this millionaire. But if I go suddenly and do this way, then everybody know I killed that person. So then this gangster, this murderer, start to make a plan. So what is the plan? He start to go and work for this millionaire, doing labor, farming. And there are a lot of people work, but he's doing so good. And so millionaire came one day And so how people work, oh, this man works so good. And then, okay, you come and work at my home. So then the millionaire take this murderer to his home. And now he worked there. And the millionaire becomes so happy, this person doing so good. And he does everything exactly the way I want. And then now he became more comfortable and he bring him inside the house. Now you can do work in my house, even in my room. Now the millionaire became so comfortable to sleep, even keep open all the doors while that murderer at home. That much comfortable. So then one day this murderer look up that waiting for his opportunity. And then the millionaire was opening the doors and everything, and this murderer went into his bedroom and start to kill this millionaire. While killing, the millionaire cannot recognize the murderer is the same person, and he asked the help and asking help from that murderer, because he is the one who's so comfortable with him and he know he do everything. He's so good person for him, and he cannot recognize the murderer is killing him, and he asks help, please come and rescue me. The same thing like the lust does to us. The desires, same thing, keep doing to us. And your own desires put into difficulties, the troubles, to get out of that same difficulty or the trouble, you start to look for the help from your own desires. That is why it's never going to end. And even in this kind of a story that it's a simile, Venerable Sariputta is told, but it in real life we have seen it, even sometimes with some presidents in our countries. It happened, there was one time there was a president killed by his own buddy, the very good the person used to be next to him. So see, there's 2,600 years ago that it gave a simile. It's just a story, but it's in real life you can see like that. But and in our mind now, from physical world, if you look into your psychological world, you will see your own thoughts does the same thing. So then, rather than promoting, rather than depending on it, rather than asking the help out of the desires, how you can get out of it? So don't promote your own thoughts. When you experience something, it can jump to place, that sometimes we cannot recognize it. We cannot locate, oh, this is what. No, it jump. Some people like dancing, some people like eating, some people like drinking, and some people like traveling, and some people like even stay calm, themselves, living themselves without doing anything. This all the same. The same thing, it's in a different way. Even sometimes some people like practice meditation and they want to, light a little candle and incense and good smell, calm, quiet environment, and they love that. So what does that mean? The same thing. It's nothing different. You love a woman or the man and you love the incense. The same intimacy happening inside your mind. This is what you have to understand. So then you have to look yourself. Where are you trapped? When any experience come to you, are you promoting thoughts? Are you depending on it? Just imagine when you wake up tomorrow, this everything new. Can you accept it? Or are you start to look, where is that? Where is that? Where is he? Where is she? So like that. Can you? So then always remember, it is really happening. When you wake up tomorrow, it's everything new. But our ideas promote thoughts. This is this. This person is this person, and that person that. So like that. And then with that, we go with the world. Then again and again, even you born, when you die, when you born, you come with that. That's why, sometimes if you find somebody very, comfortable for you, and sometimes people say, oh, maybe soulmate. Or maybe in previous life. Or maybe just imagine you go somewhere, a very new place, you've never been to that place. And then suddenly you feel it's very comfortable. And then you think, oh, maybe in my previous life, I used to be here. So like that, you always, get the connection with something, promoting your thoughts. Of course, it is not a magic. There is no person that, didn't become your husband or wife, didn't become your child, didn't become your parent. There is no animal, didn't become your relatives. It's a very, it is not a magic. It is a very basic level of teaching when it comes to the Buddha's teaching, because that much long journey you came. But once you become a human in this life, you don't need to depend on that. You don't need to count on that. There is something more higher in you to more merge and go with. What is that? That is your awareness. Forget about the previous things, the past things. It is not a magic. It's always happening. It's not something that you need to be so happy about it. Even when, when there's a puppy come, and if that, that innocent puppy or the cat, or, come too close to you and rub the body, and you feel, oh, maybe in the previous life, this, puppy is one of our relatives, so kind of like that. That's not a magic. It's a very simple truth. What the when it comes to the Buddha's teaching. It's not even that. It's each and everyone. That's why when it comes to me, all living beings, you open your heart to that, but still you have to remember, we all in this web, in this trap, in this illusion. That is why with that compassion to get out of that illusion, you have to have a very clear, higher vision when it comes to life. So then remember yourself. When you experience something, you can do it. Only thing is you need the effort, and you need some awareness, and little by little practice. Just know where the lust come. Lust not coming from outside world. The lust come from promoting your thought. When you start to promote your thought, just imagine, just I give a, we have eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, that's, imagine if you promote your thoughts to drink water, you don't need pure water. Even you can drink salty. That is where the mind play the game. It doesn't matter. That is where, when you promote the thoughts yourself, when the lusts become stronger, you are capable to do anything. That's why the parents sometimes, rape their own children. Relatives, do the same thing to them. Why it happened like that way? Because it promoted by their own thoughts. That's why you can kill anybody. You can do anything. Once you start to that is what the Buddha said, stop there. Once you stop there, this entire universe going to settle down, neutral. That is where your real freedom going to come. That is what, that recognizing that in your mind and stopping it inside you is the real wisdom. Once you start to do one thought like that way, it becomes profitable skill to you. 2 thoughts, 3 thoughts, 4 thoughts, 5 thoughts. Then you start to multiply that profitable skill. So then imagine yourself and remember yourself. You are the one who capable to do that. As a human being, that is the highest skill that you can develop. So don't give up that opportunity. Do whatever you want to do. It's nothing wrong with that. This is your life. So get that whatever that if you want to experience, go for it. But anytime, I'm done. If you can get out of it, you good. But if you cannot get out of it and your thoughts promote you, and you keep dragging there, then you are in danger. Why? Because that is not the outside world, because your own thoughts. You cannot get out of your own thoughts. So then start to work from that place. Where the lust arise in your mind. When you promote your own thoughts, the desires, or the mental formations, volitions, sanskara, your memory, that is where the lust comes. So if you don't allow, when a perception comes, if you don't allow your memory to, your volitions to, your sanskara to, or your mental formations to interfere with the moment of experience, that is where your liberation, your transformation, the ultimate bliss of Nibbana can experience. So with that, I bless upon everyone. With this good practice, may all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life during this time period. May everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi dikayuko bhavat. Ettavata cha mehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idammi punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu. Sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.